or as you can see, it has 2/3 plus 2/3 plus 2/3 plus 2/3. And that occurs 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're multiplying 4 times 2 so that you can get a multiplication equation. So 4 times 2 is equal to 8, and on the bottom, 3 stays the same. So the 3 does not change. That's what we're going to be doing for the next few problems. For letter A, we have 5 plus 5 plus 5. So that means as our multiplication equation would be, it would be 3 times 5. Or you can add it together, which is 15. So we have 15, and our denominator stays the same as 3. So 15 divided by 3 is equal to 5. Now moving on to the next problem, we have 2 times 13 because we have 13 plus 13. Now you can add 13 plus 13 to figure what that is, or you can multiply 13 times 2, up to you. I'm multiplying 13 times 2. 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 times 1 is 2. So we get 26 divided by 5. Now what you can do is you can actually write this as a division problem, 26 divided by 5, which is equal to 5, and remainder is 1, and my denominator would be 5. So 5 and 1/5 would be your answer. For the problem over here, I have 1, 2, 3. So 3 times 9, which is equal to 27. Our denominator is 4. 27 divided by 4. 4 can go into 27 about 6 times because 6 times 4 is 24. Subtract 7 minus 4 is 3, and our denominator is going to be 4. So my final answer is 6 3/4. Problem 2. It asks you to solve each problem in 2 different ways as modeled in the example. So over here I'm gonna show you just the multiplication across, and then the other example is crossing. So they give you 2 examples here. We have one example and we have the second example. And I will be showing you both. Looking for a different color highlighter. So that it's not confusing. Okay, so we have those 2 examples. The first one, you multiply 3/4 times 16. So we're multiplying 3 times 16, and then we're leaving 4 on the bottom as our denominator. 3 times 16 is equal to 48, and my denominator is 4. Now I'm going to divide 48 divided by 4. So if you need to write it down, you can. We have 4 divided by 48. 4 can go into 4 1 times. 4 can go into 8 2 times. So my final answer is 12. Now on this side, there's another way to solve it. So you're setting it up the same way. 3 times 16, just like that, and the 4 on the bottom. The only difference is you're going to break apart 16. You're going to break it into 2 numbers. You're going to think, I want to cross off the bottom number. In order to do that, I need to figure out what are the multiples of 16. So multiples of 16 are 4 and 4 because 4 times 4 is equal to 16. So now this 16 disappears, and now we only have 4 and 4. We know that 4 divided by 4 is equal to 4, so I can also cross those 2 out. So what is left over? We have 3 times 4, which I have on the top, and the 4 is no longer there. I can put a 1 if I want to because 4 divided by 4 is equal to 1, but you don't have to. So 3 times 4 is equal to 12, and 12 divided by 1 is equal to 12. So notice that this 12 and this 12 are the same, but whichever one makes more sense to you or is easier to do is the one you want to keep continuing to practice. I am going to show both ways so that you have an idea of what you want to choose. So over here we have 4/3 times 12. I'm multiplying 4 times 12 first, the top numbers. 4 times 12, and my denominator is 3, so that is a number that goes on the bottom. 4 times 12 is equal to 48, and 48 divided by 3 is what they want me to figure out. So I have 3 divided by 48. 3 can go into 4 1 time, 4 minus 3 is 1. Bring down the 8. 3 can go into 18 6 times. So my final answer is equal to 16. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I have 4 times 12, which we're going to break that 12. So I'm going to break it into 3 and 4 because 3 times 4 is equal to 12. So this 12 no longer is there. And notice that the bottom number and the 3 and the 3 can be crossed off because 3 divided by 3 is equal to 1. So what I have left is I have 4 times 4. So 4 times 4 is equal to 12, and 12 divided by 1 is equal to 12. Oh, I just noticed something. 4 times 4 is equal to 16. My bad. I was looking at the number at the top. So my final answer is equal to 16. Notice that both of these numbers are the same. For the next problem, I have 40 times 11 tenths. I'm going to multiply the top number 40 times 11. 40 times 11 is going to give me 440, and my denominator is going to be 10. Okay, and if you remember, I think I told you guys that you can cross off the zeros because 0 divided by 0 is 0, and it is the same. So the next step I'm going to do is I have 44 divided by 1. I'm so sorry, it's a little blurry, and I'm not sure why, what happened there. There we go. 44 divided by 1 is equal to 44. So my final answer is 44. Now on this side, I have 40 times 11, just like over here, 40 times 11. And my 10 is my denominator. I'm going to break 40 into 4 and 10 because 4 times 10 is equal to 40. I'm going to cross off that 40 because now it changed to 4 and 10. And I'm also going to cross off the 10s. So what I have left is 4 times 11. You see the 4 and 11? So 4 times 11 is equal to 44. I have 44 over 1. So 44 divided by 4 is equal, or 44 divided by 1 is equal to 44. So my final answer is 44. The next equation I have here is 7 times 36. 7 times 36 is equal to 252. And I am dividing by 6 because that is my denominator. 6 can go into 25 4 times because 6 times 4 is 24. Subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. Bring down your 2. 6 can go into 12 2 times. 12 minus 12 is equal to 0. So my final answer is 42. Now on this side, I have the same setup, 7 times 36 divided by 6. I know that 36 can be broken down into 6 and 6. And 6 divided by 6 is equal to 6. So 6 is the only one that is remaining. So we have 7 times 6, and this changes to a 1. So 7 times 6 is equal to 42, and that is my final answer. Now, the next problem, I have 24 times 5. So I'm multiplying 24 times 5. The denominator is 8. 24 times 5, as I solved earlier, is 120. 120 divided by 8. 8 can go into 12 one time. 12 minus 8 is equal to 4. Bring down your 0. 8 times 5 is equal to 40, and 40 minus 40 is equal to 0. So my final answer is 15. Over here, I have 24 times 5, just like that. Denominator is 8, same one. And I'm breaking down 8 and 3. So I can cross off this 24 for now, and I have 8 and 3. So that means that I can cross off 8. 3 times 5 is 15. My denominator is equal to 1. So 15 divided by 1 is equal to 15. 15 and 15 are the same. 42 and 42 are the same. Notice that whichever method you use is going to be the same answer. So either method works, whichever one you prefer. Some students prefer this one, some students prefer this one. It is up to you. Now I'm going to turn the page, and we are on page 39. Page 39, I'm multiplying the top numerator, 18 and 5. 18 times 5 is equal to 90. My denominator is equal to 12. How many times can 12 go into 90? I think 7 times, but I'm going to check. 12 times 7. 7 times 2 is equal to 14. 7 times 1 is 7 plus 1 is 84. So 84, yes, 7 is the closest one. So 10 minus 4 is equal to 6. My remainder is 6 and my denominator is 12. You can reduce this to 7 and 1 half because 6 divided by 6 is going to give you 1 and 12 divided by 6 will give you 2. So I am going to box this and I ran out of room, so I'm not going to write the simplified form, but like I said, it can also be 7 and 1 half. On this side, we have 18 times 5. We can break 18 into 2 and 9. So what I have left is, I notice that there is 12 as well, and we can't actually reduce 12 with 2 unless you break 12 into 2 and 6, and that's what I did here. So now I can cross off the 2's, but what I have left is 9 times 5, so I'm writing down 9 times 5. And over here, what I have left is 6. 9 times 5 is equal to 45, and 6 is going to be my denominator. I'm going to divide 45 divided by 6. 6 can go into 45 7 times. 45 minus 42 is going to give me 3, and my denominator is 6. Okay, and when I reduce that, it is going to give me 7 and 1 half. And like I said, this one is also 7 1 half. It's so hard to write, so I'm going to put an arrow. 7 and 1 half can also be your answer, and this one is 7 and 1 half as well, and they are both the same. For the next problem, we have problem G. You're multiplying 10 times 21. You're multiplying numerators and denominator stays the same as 9. 10 times 21, as I multiplied here, is equal to 210. 210 divided by 9. 9 can go into 21 2 times because 2 times 9 is equal to 18. 11 minus 8 is going to give you 3. And 1 minus 1 is 0. I don't need to write that 0. 9 can go into 33 times because 9 times 3 is equal to 27. I'm going to subtract. 10 minus 7 is equal to 3. And my denominator is 9. So I can actually reduce 23 and 3 ninths to a smaller number, which would be 23 and 1/3. On this side, I have 10 times 21. And I notice that I can reduce 21 to 3 and 7 as multiples. And for 9, I have 3 and 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm crossing off these numbers because they change to 3 and 7 and 3 and 3. I'm going to cross off 3 because that is the same as the denominator. So what I have left on the top is 10 times 7. And in my denominator, I have 3. So 10 times 7 is equal to 70, and the denominator is going to be 3, so I'm going to divide. I have 3 divided by 70. 3 can go into 7 2 times. Subtract. 7 minus 6 is 1. Bring down your 0. 3 can go into 10 3 times. Subtract. You get 1. So what I have is 23 and 1/3 as my final answer, which is the exact same thing as the problem I have right here. So either method will work. For problem number 3, they ask you to solve each problem any way you choose. So I'm choosing to solve it this way because I think it's easier to reduce. So 1 times 60, I change 60 to 3 and 20. Notice that there is a 3 here. That's why I changed it to a 3. Cross off my 3's. What I have left on the top is 1 times 20. 1 times 20 is equal to 20. 20 divided by 1 is equal to 20. So my final answer is 1/3 of a minute is equal to 20 seconds. For problem B, I have 4 times 60 for my numerator. My denominator is 5. I'm breaking 60 into 5 and 12 because my denominator has 5. So I can cross off 60. We can cross off my 5's because 5 divided by 5 is equal to 1. So 4 times 12 is what I have left. And 4 times 12 is equal to 48, and 48 divided by 1 is equal to 48. So 48 minutes. For problem C, I have 7 times 1,000 in my numerator. 7 times 1,000, I'm breaking it into 10 and 100 because my denominator is 10. So I'm crossing off 10. And what I would have left is 7 times 100 over 1. So 7 times 100 is equal to 700. 700 divided by 1 is equal to 700. So my final answer is 700 grams. For the next one, I'm multiplying 3 times 100. I can break 100 into 5 and 20. Why into 5 and 20? Because my denominator is 5. So cross off your 5, you get 3 times 20. 3 times 20 is equal to 60 because 3 times 2 is 6. Add your 0, which gives you 60. And my denominator is 1. 60 divided by 1 is equal to 60. And that is it.